VGK splits a pair of games over the weekend. Sunday's win in Minnesota and Saturday's loss in Edmonton. Next, we talk about those two games and much, much more on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Hope you had a great weekend. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure to subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. We are brought to you today by Gametime. Download the Gametime app today. Use that promo code LOCKDOWNNHL for $20 off your first purchase. What time is it, Golick?
Game time.
All right.
Monday morning.
Yeah, it is Monday morning. That's definitely precise. So VGK takes 2 out of 3 on the road this past roadie, and pretty good. If you're looking at things, it's a successful road trip with 4 points. Yeah. They won at Minnesota Sunday, lost in Edmonton Saturday on the opening leg of the back-to-back. Earlier on this trip, it was that 3-2 win at Winnipeg. And yesterday, let's talk about the Minnesota game in Minneapolis. VGK outlasted the Wild 3-2. Victor Golifson. Now, was he called Golifson up until yesterday? Okay.
Golifson or Golifson, what'd you say?
I said well, he was Golef's son. Now he's Golif's son. And so Victor Olaf with a couple of goals. Shea Theodore had the other. VGK closes out the game after a Brett Howden tripping penalty with 49 seconds remaining, defending a 6-on-4. It was a mad scramble in front of the net. That's what we have to talk about. Start there. And Alex Pietrangelo played well defensively. He pushes the puck away to secure the victory.
So, yeah, I watched that live as it happened. I was working, but I was able to catch that moment at the end of the game when Pietrangelo saved it. And, you know, that's the thing. I think my rant isn't the word to use, but I think it was Pietrangelo doesn't skate that well. He doesn't move that fast. There's not a lot of things that he does great on the ice, but there's a lot of things that he does very good on the ice. I know jack of all trades, master of none applies in a lot of circumstances, but
that's Eichel.
Yeah, there you go. But Pietrangelo, the master of none,
he's jack of all trades. Okay.
The master of none is okay in Pietrangelo's circumstances. He can do well on the offensive side. He can do well on the defensive side. I put up an appreciation post for him on X, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And then you watch that sellout at the end, and the buzzer finally goes, and all the players they didn't go to Samsonov. They went to Pietrangelo at the end of the game, including Samsonov, to show his appreciation. So you have to appreciate that as a fan watching that happen. And I guess just the last thing I'll say before we keep on diving in here is you had 3 teams on this road trip. Here's the winning percentages. Edmonton Oilers, 633 points percentage, 633, again, over that 600 mark. Winnipeg, 703. Minnesota, 710. And the Golden Knights got 4 out of 6. That's pretty good. What are you going to say negative? I saw you shake your head. What are you going to say negative?
I have an asterisk for you here.
You have a lot of asterisks.
Well, so
you're an asterisk.
Gets another break because they face a third-string goalie, Jesper Wallstedt, of the Wild yesterday.
He's a good rookie.
First start of the season. He's not a rookie. He's been around for ages, but
he's been around. He's on the Brendan Brisson career path, but yeah.
He played for Atlanta. That's how long this dude's been around.
Yeah,
The Golden Knights do not face Philip Gustafsson or Fleury. Gustafsson, the Gus Bus, 14-5-3. You can't tell me they did not catch a break yesterday. You cannot call it.
Sure, they caught a break in net, but they only found path to score 3 goals. And the goals that they scored, I don't know if it's Fleury or Gustafsson, I don't know if it matters either way, but I mean, you going to blame VGK for that?
Yes, of course.
Why?
It's rigged. It's rigged.
It's rigged? You're rigged.
2 goals for VGK off the rush yesterday. So that was some good news. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, let's talk about that for a second. I mean, the second goal, the Theodore goal, Mark Stone Again, it's just doing the little things right. And this goes back to what Coach Cassidy said last week. He wants the defense to be more offensive and join the rush and do things like that. Well, Mark Stone starting the turnover, then drives to the net. It basically splits the defense. No one knows who to cover on Minnesota. Theodore finds some soft ice and goes right in and just roofs it right over Wallstedt's shoulder. It's a beautiful play. And then the second Olofsson goal, which I thought was Carlson. I thought there was a tip.
No. And so and Carlson, trying to take credit for someone else's work, goes down the bench first. Boom, the high fives. Okay, dude, get out of the lane. It's not your goal.
I thought it was his goal, but
it was not his goal. It was not his goal.
But here's what I like about that goal. Nick Hague, he realizes that Minnesota's in a line change. Nick Hague just plays it right up the boards. Dorofeev, again, there's some soft ice, gets to Carlson, gets to Olofsson. Even the goal visualizer shows William Karlsson scoring the goal. All right, they didn't show if they went down the bench first. So
he did.
Two situations off the rush, if you will. Golden Knights, they're a rush team. We've heard this for a long time now, especially in the Cassidy era. Pardon me. They are a rush team. They score goals in transition, and 2 or 3 of the goals last night. And then the first goal, Hurdle, it was just a complete set piece off of the face-off victory on the power play. 2 passes, and Olofsson just says, "Screw it, I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time. I'm just going to shoot," and there we go.
But you saw who made that play happen. Mark Stone. Mark Stone takes away one side of the net, and then Olofsson will shoot the puck. You'll see that on your replay to the left. So he takes away the right side of the net, pretty much. Great screen in front. I'm going to give him all the credit in the world on that play. And on Olofsson, who had 3 goals this past weekend, Bruce Cassidy said Olaf probably is playing well, has more zip because he was out for a while with the injury. Why don't you give him some credit, bro? Come on, man.
Olofsson points in 4 of his last 5, and in his last 5 games, he's got 6 points. So, and he's doing some of this 5-on-5 too. That's the other side of this. He's doing some at 5-on-5 now. And if Olofsson can become a contributor in 5v5 circumstances, that's going to be, I mean, what happens? I was talking to someone about Olofsson as far as an extension, how that's going to shake out. And Olofsson, I mean, he took a bridge deal. He's hoping Vegas makes a run. He's hoping he, scores 20, 22, 25 goals, however they come, who cares? And I think Olofsson's going to want like $4 million AAV. He's not going to get it in Vegas, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe he will. Did
you see that screen? Did you find that?
I didn't know. Stone, great play. He basically just, again, set piece. Everyone goes to their places, and it all worked out.
Yeah, and the bumper, he's lethal right there. So great screen set up in front. Ivan Barbashev, let's talk about him. Spilled by Marcus Foligno and now has an upper body injury. And so Brett Howden for most of the game, because we saw that he did not play very many minutes, Barbashev, before he was taken out. Foligno apologized, and he was telling everyone, "Hey, man, I didn't really mean to do that." But Kolasar takes exception, and those two start to dance. And I'm going to give Foligno some credit for he threw some body punches, but he also was hitting, to take away some leverage. Maybe he's hitting Kolasar in the hip. I was like, man, great fighting tactic, bro. But Brett Howden, you got to talk about him. Just again filling in the blanks. And Barbashev, 30 points on the season. You cannot afford to lose Ivan the Great Barbashev.
You can't afford to lose. Well, I mean, Tony, this team made it fine without Mark Stone. All right. If they can make it without Mark Stone, no disrespect to Barbashev, they can make it without Barbashev. And Brett Howden going up makes sense. It does. There's plenty of chemistry, your favorite word, plenty of chemistry with Mark Stone, number one. Those two played basically 2 seasons together, and parts of this season, I think they've been on the same line together. So I think it'll fit like a glove. We'll see. I mean, I think Barbashev obviously is going to be a lot better in that circumstance. And there's other players that can go to that spot in the event Howden doesn't work out. But I mean, what Howden's done everything so far right this season. Why can't he be why can't on December the 16th with 1 forward injury, why can't Brett Howden be a top line forward? What a world we're living in. Who
was I asking you about the other day if he was still in the lineup? I was going to give you him in my picks.
You wanted Cole Schwintz.
Where is Cole Schwint? Where is
Coming
he?
back? Coming back in the lineup on Thursday, maybe?
He'll probably be back on Thursday. Okay, I'll already put him in my picks. All right, my lock of the night. Coming up next, our takeaways from Saturday's VGK loss
So
in
long ago.
Edmonton on Locked On Golden Knights. We have to tell you about our good friends at Gametime. They have a new feature called Gametime Picks. It makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. And what it does is it filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste any time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. There's something called the super deals. Curated deals make it easier to find the best price on great seats. You've got seat views before you buy, the lowest price guarantee, and they also have event cancellation protection, job loss protection. In this crazy volatile world, that's something that is really good and special that Gametime will offer for you. With the seat views, you get a panoramic view of the seat before you buy your tickets. And Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference if you don't find the lowest price. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets today at Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use that promo code LOCKDOWNNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account, use the redeem code LOCKEDON NHL. Locked On NHL. It's Monday, folks. Give me a break, and you will receive $20 off. I was leading up to the crescendo here. Download Gametime today. What time is it, Golick?
Gametime. Crescendo.
Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Make sure, please, to subscribe to Locked On Golden Knights, our YouTube channel. Saturday, sometimes, Chris and Chris, your junior show.
We were going to this weekend. I actually pulled the plug on Saturday. Then Sunday we were going to do it, and I wasn't feeling well. And yeah, but we were close. We were actually really close this weekend, Tony. As crazy as that sounds, we were close.
Now, is this the Christmas holiday blues, or what is this?
No, bro? It was like Saturday morning. It was like 10:30. We got home from doing some errands, and we're getting ready to record. I'm like, the Edmonton game starts in 2.5 hours. The show's going to be stale anyway. So let's react to the Edmonton game, preview a little Minnesota game, and gab for a little bit. And then Sunday morning, I had a million things to do. And then we started playing Nintendo Switch and Mario Jamboree. And I want to give a shout out really fast here, actually. I'm going
to Mario Jamboree?
Not Super Mario.
Okay.
Super Mario Lemieux. No, Boulder Bowl, guys. Boulder Bowl, Boulder City. Really, really fun time. We took our hockey team there for a holiday party. Very inexpensive to rent the entire house out. The staff is incredibly accommodating for the parents out there. Like if you got a birthday party or something like that, it can be stressful dealing with, staffs, those kids play places and all that. Not a Boulder Bowl. Super cool, super laid back. Gave us the run of the house, gave us some instructions when we got there. So yeah, highly recommend whether you just want to go there and see just a historic venue or have like a holiday party there or a birthday party, go check out Boulder Bowl. That was a really fun experience yesterday for our 10U Young Guns hockey team.
Wait, but didn't you also go to the NBA
I did on Saturday night. I went to a basketball game for the first time this century, Tony.
How was it?
It was, T-Mobile dresses up really well. I'll say that. The NBA,
it's beautiful.
It looked pretty sweet. I'll say that.
Yeah, great.
They were good tickets. I've never sat, well, I take that back. I sat close to a Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls game in the playoffs a long, long time ago. We were actually courtside. That's long time ago. But then we, for this game, we were like 5 rows up right at center court with my friends from Blaise, one of the biggest breakers in the world out of Vegas here. So we were all hanging out watching the game. It was cool. It was cool. Basketball, it wasn't that cool, but it was fun. It was cool.
All right. 6-3 VGK loss in Edmonton on Saturday, fell apart at the seams in the second period, giving up 4 goals to the Oil. Nonetheless, Bruce Cassidy said that he felt that VGK's offense played well in the game, but did not protect the puck.
First period, I put a tweet out there, literally was complimenting the VGK structurally. I loved their game. Defense, neutral zone, offensive side. VGK was clearly the better team for even when when Nugent Hopkins, something just fell, I don't know what that was. Even when Nugent Hopkins scored that power play goal late in the first period, I mean, VGK, I think they had one post already, and I liked everything about that first period. And I think I put another tweet out there about something, and then literally as I'm tweeting it, and I said, "Oh, poop! Edmonton just scored a goal, whatever." And then me and Chris were outside playing hockey. Me, Chris, and Allie actually, and kind of following the score. I'm like, uh oh. But what I will say is, I think the late push, scoring some goals late and making it a 2-goal game briefly, I think that was very helpful in the game against Minnesota. VGK having some juice, if you will, having some confidence.
Leon Draisaitl, a goal, 2 assists for Edmonton. Bad performance by Adin Hill. Adin Hill, the Oilers scoring the first 5 goals of the day.
It's going to happen. I mean, listen,
a clunker.
There's a game like this early in the season when the narrative was a proven narrative, when the narrative was VGK can't beat a good team. We're going to throw our hands up, and I'm going to say I told you so. In a spot like this, VGK had been hot. Was it a 4 or 5 game winning streak, whatever it was, beating good teams? Games like this are going to happen. They're just not going to have it every game. And it's December the 16th. We're in the middle third of the season right now. These moments will happen. Adin Hill's not going to be great every game, nor is Stuart Skinner, and he definitely wasn't great that game. We had another El Gaff, right? Is that what we call those? El Gaff, El Giraffe, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he had one of those, and VGK gets a pass for a game like this given the circumstances. So the fact that they bounced back against Minnesota, a good hockey team led by Jesper Wallstedt, Tony, the fact that they bounced back in that circumstance, even when asterisk, fine. 2 points with an asterisk. I mean, this isn't a Barry Bonds home run asterisk here. Come on.
Okay, that's fair. We did see VGK get a shorthanded goal from Brett Howden, so that was good news.
That doesn't count. That doesn't count.
I know. Garbage time. No,
it wasn't garbage time. It was that was Stuart Skinner, right? That was Stuart Skinner going behind the net and just completely. He did his best Marc-Andre Fleury impression from, what was it, the 2020 playoffs or something like that. That was terrible. Fans are flipping out on social about that. Like, this guy's going to cost us another chance at the Stanley Cup.
By the time American Four Nations comes around, how many points will Jack Eichel put up?
Here.
I know,
116. I don't know.
He's got 42.
Four Nations comes in February
22nd.
41 on this side. So there's about another, that's 10. So about 58 games. He's getting about 1.3 points a game. I'll tell you exactly right now. I'll get you within a couple points here.
I will say
58 times
1.25.
He'll have 70 points. He's going to have 70 points, Tony.
I will say that VGK has a very much rigged schedule from this point forward. I think within the next month or so, and whatever.
What about the schedule they just had? How about the schedule they just had, Tony?
That was nothing.
Three teams in a row greater than 600 points percentage.
Okay.
What's the schedule ahead, Tony? Fine, I'll play your stupid game.
They're only going to play like 2 road games coming up, and they're both in San Jose.
It's pretty soft, Tony. The schedule is pretty soft.
Now it's getting so soft.
Rangers, Minnesota, January 11th.
Yeah, my Rangers.
12th. My birthday, January 12th.
Okay.
That's when it gets a little more difficult. And they got a roadie where they go to Carolina. Oh, go to Nashville on January 14th. There we go.
Oh, good.
St. Louis, Dallas. St. Louis is never easy.
Yeah, we'll hear a lot of slander.
Columbus. I mean, it gets a little more difficult, but yeah, the next 6 games, Tony, is pretty soft.
It's going to be very, very soft for VGK. And so, but Jack Eichel, you cannot say enough good things. And if there is a loss of Barbashev, even for a while, that does sort of break things up a little. No, will they stick with Howden on that top line? What happens here?
That's a fair question, and I don't know the answer to that. Like I said, Howden is going to have the familiarity with Stone, and it seems like right now whoever goes in that spot is going to do well. Now, to be fair, I did talk about Ivan Barbashev and his importance to the VGK. I did claim that Barbashev was one of the most, if not the most important acquisition. I know I'm going to get dragged for this, but there was a stark change in Eichel's points per game once Barbashev became a member of the Vegas Golden Knights. You can look this up. I had a bunch of stats. It was a show about 4 weeks ago, something like that. But Eichel went from, I think, a point in 91% of his games or something like that. So it was a 0.91, points percentage, whatever you want to say, to right now he's 1.23, and he's always been over a point per game since Barbashev's arrival. So that could be a concern. Absolutely, it could be a concern. The other candidates that could go on that spot, Dorofeev, you move Nicholas Waugh back up to the wing. I don't know if I like that option. So, I mean, there's a possibility. There's a few different possibilities there.
Where is Cole Schwint going to slot in?
Cole Schwint will be on the fourth line, Tony. He'll be back. He's so back, Tony. He's back there.
Coming up next, I call this the Robin Lehner.
Cal Burke.
I called it the Robin Lehner Manifesto on Twitter yesterday, but it's no joke. Our discussion comes your way next, right here on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Did Rocket Money help you to find any subscriptions that you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? That happens to me all the time. And I had a few subscriptions that didn't realize I was still paying for. And Rocket Money made it so easy to track them down. It's like having a personal assistant for all of your finances. It's terrific. It's the personal finance app. It helps you to find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps to lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, or even the goals that you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscription, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions today. You can reach your financial goals, and you can do it faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon, rocketmoney.com/lockedon. We are also brought to you today by FanDuel. You can continue to tackle all of the NFL action at America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Tonight, man, the unprecedented doubleheader for Monday Night Football. So I will be at the game at Allegiant Stadium. The Falcons are 5.5-point favorites over your Las Vegas Raiders. Total 44.5. And we've got the Vikings minus the Vikings -7 over the Bears, and the total is 43 and a hook. So when you have a hunch in the middle of the game, make sure that you go to FanDuel. That's the place to be. You can check out the latest stats. You can view live play-by-play and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com and you can join today. You can start it with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. The first $5 bet might not be the Raiders tonight. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. Back on this edition of Stuff falling from the sky there. What's happening, bro?
That was the phone. I was putting it down so I could come back and talk to you.
Okay. Of course, we appreciate everyone tuning in. Don't forget, on Fridays, it's WTF Day. Saturdays, of course, are reserved. Sometimes they use it. Sometimes they're at Boulder Bowl or wherever. Sometimes they're at NBA games. But it is reserved for the Chris.
With the Bears tonight, take the Vikings first half, and then whatever the second half is, whatever the point spread is, take the Bears second half. That's how all the games have been going for them.
So, first, Robin Lehner. Let's talk about him.
We have to.
He does an interview with the Review Journal, and I didn't quite understand his comments there. And then later, he takes to the X, and the longest post in X history. How do you get all those characters, bro? I know you're paying a little bit extra there for that star or whatever. Will Pete DeBoer, the question I have is, Pete DeBoer, will he ever respond to Lehner's allegations? Lehner at least is happy now that he could help. He says now in the aftermath, he says he's happy that he could contribute to giving VGK some cap space. But then that was my favorite line in there. But then he calls DeBoer coward. He said that DeBoer is the one that stabbed Marc-Andre Fleury in the back. He said Pete triggered Lehner's bipolar. McCrimmon has to step in, tries to step in, was asked to shut up. They told Lehner to be quiet. And now he said that he will haunt Peter DeBoer in his next life. He doesn't have to worry much because I think the firing from VGK might haunt him still.
Yeah, I mean, about the only thing I care to talk about is the VGK side and the Pete DeBoer portion of this. Basically, the blame was on DeBoer, if I read this right, for getting him to play through injuries. And Lehner had to dress for that one more game to trigger some type of, I think, financial clause or whatever it was. I don't know exactly what it was, but Lehner had to be the backup for that game, which was a real weird circumstance. And putting this on DeBoer, I don't necessarily understand because DeBoer, when it comes to injuries, and no different than Gallant and, of course, Coach Cassidy, when it comes to injuries and things like that, they're not making the decisions about putting these guys out there. Training staff is going to recommend if they can play or not. And then if there's a weird thing that needs to happen as far as with the Lehner situation, that's going to come from McCrimmon to dress someone or not dress someone. And you and I talked about this. This is one of our first, I guess, nuggets, if you will, in season 5 was interference from above, outside interference, primarily McCrimmon, and maybe him deciding which goaltenders to start. That was the Logan Thompson situation, Robin Lehner, and all that. So you wonder how everything played out. And I don't know if DeBoer has his hands dirty with this situation. I think it's more on McCrimmon. And I don't think it's as much on McCrimmon. I just think Lehner, unfortunately, took the airwaves, so to speak, and said his thoughts and everything. And when you read this, you just hope Lehner's in the right place. You hope the right people are around him helping him. And I mean, the end of it, talking about, don't call him dad and don't call him panda anymore. That was just incredibly sad reading that part of it. And you hope for the best for him. You hope that, down the road, things are better for not just him, but of course, his family. I mean, just such a rough situation that his family has to see all this playing out on social. And I mean, we're talking about this on a podcast. I mean, we have to because it was the biggest VGK related news thing. We got time to talk about Kolesar's extension because of what happened here. I mean, so yeah.
He said that he played through a broken tibia, had a torn shoulder injury, and he said that they forced him to play. He cited that he had no say in the way things ended. He said, in fact, there was no communication from the team for over a year. I'll
buy that. I'll definitely buy that.
Well, that's the MO of VGK, as we know. So you're saying that
they gave him a ring, Tony. They made sure to talk about that.
Okay, but you're saying that perhaps McCrimmon had a larger role in this, and maybe Pete was the fall guy. Is that your thought?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean,
because Robin Lehner doesn't see it that way. He said that McCrimmon was the good guy that was like trying to get Pete to back off. So who knows how that played out?
McCrimmon pulls the strings in the organization when it comes to the media people, when it comes to everything happening. It starts with Kelly McCrimmon, and then whether this is from Foley or just how McCrimmon wants the organization run, it all starts with McCrimmon when it comes to all of these things. And whether he's in the back manipulating things and making DeBoer look like the bad guy, I don't know. And I'm not saying that. I wasn't around the team when any of this happened. So we're just kind of firing here, so to speak, trying to sort all of it out. I guess the biggest question that I have, Robin Lehner's situation has been known before the VGK traded for him as far as issues with bipolar and just internal demons. This is all very, very public information, and we're not unearthing anything that anyone doesn't know. But did VGK do enough for him to be sensitive to what Robin faces? You see a lot more things happening now, right? Like 4 years ago, I don't recall players leaving the league just simply to go and get things taken care of. Spencer Knight, Patrick Laine, for example.
Yeah, get their mentals right.
Exactly. So you wonder if something like that should have happened with Robin. I don't know.
Is this bipolar? Because even bipolar people were commenting on my thread yesterday, and they said, I'm bipolar, but this isn't bipolarness, or however they framed it.
I don't know. Has to be I'm not even going down that road. I have no idea.
But it has to be something more than that. And I know that Foley got tired. Bill Foley, at the end of the season, he said we had a lot of distractions in the locker room and pretty much pointed towards Lehner. Lehner's a handful. They knew this coming in.
Yes, they knew this coming in. Exactly.
And how much more?
Exactly.
I'm going to take the other side for once. I'm going to be on the VGK side and I've got to ask, how much more could they have done for this guy? I think they did a lot for him, personally.
I don't know. A lot of this, I'm sure, didn't play out publicly. So maybe the NHLPA player assistance was involved early on. I don't know. The fact that we're here now, 4 years later since the last time he skated, that's obviously there are a lot of things have happened. So we don't know. But again, wish Robin well, number one. And I don't know if the DeBoer side of this was completely accurate. I think, if anything more, that's going to be on the McCrimmon side.
It's going to be interesting because we're going to hear more, right? There's got to be more to this story. And hopefully it doesn't end.
I hope there's more. Because otherwise, if there's not more, that means Robin's situation took a worse turn.
For sure. And the only thing that really baffled me was, how did you get that many characters on X? Kept going. We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. We did not sort through that because there's nothing to really sort through. It just was a very odd and strange.
No, just the VGK portion of it's the only thing that mattered to me.
Okay. We appreciate the everydayers tuning in around the globe. Of course, don't forget Fridays are WTF Day. Saturdays, it's the Chris Jr. Show. For everyone out there, we appreciate
good job not saying someone should have been cross-checked, Tony. You didn't piss anyone off today. Good job.
I did not say anyone should be cross-checked.
Give you credit.
I want to listen to what I actually said, though, in that episode, because I didn't. Was it ill intent?
Well, and then I said Carlson took a hit and made a play, and the dude dragged me too.
From my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Saver for WTF. From my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Lockdown Golden Knights. And please, folks, take care.